I'm Michelle Graves, your host on today's segment of The Power of Money. I'm glad to have you here. Now, at The Power of Money, we are interested in three things happening. First, we want you to get the necessary education so that you and your family can make the decisions that will impact positively on you in your financial life. The second thing is that you be empowered to prosper. I only want the best for you. And you can only get that if you have education and then the drive to make it happen. And the third thing that is so important to me is that you recognize that life is more than a journey and that you be energized so that you can begin to participate in the truly joyous experience of living. So, here's to empowerment, here's to education, and here's to energy. I'm Michelle Graves, your host, Power of Money, and here we go. And here we go. I'm Michelle Graves, your host on The Power of Money, and I'm pleased to say that we're entering into year number 7 with DATV out of Dayton, Ohio. A phenomenal staff, a phenomenal producer, Ben artist, all of the above, phenomenal people. I reside in Cincinnati, Ohio, but it is such a delight and a joy to make that drive to DATV to be able to give you, my viewers in all of the United States and overseas, information to change your life. We are in such a pivotal time in history. Unbelievable. I'm so serious. Unbelievable what is happening as we move into a new world order. And I say that because you may not like the way it sounds and feels, but thanks to technology and the advances in science, we are actually experiencing some incredible things. And I want you to be completely aware, not from a position of fear and anxiety, but from a position of education and empowerment so that you can begin to direct your lives in an affirmative way. Consistent with this belief, this next year, I am going to be focusing on entrepreneurship, starting your own business. Got news for you retirees, it's not the way you thought. I got news for you young people, it's not the way you thought. So we want to bring in people who are right boots on the ground to talk to you about their resources, about their vision, and to help you over the next 6 months to develop a plan for yourself. Everybody in America needs to have their own business. I don't care if it's baking cakes. I don't care if it's selling shoes. I don't care if it's multi-level marketing. I don't care if it's manufacturing. I don't care if it's sales, but you must experience your own stuff. You must. It's just a part of the way it works. So I'm going to start today's show off with my very first guest, and I'm honored to have him in the studio today, Eric Kearney, who is president of the African American Chamber of Commerce in Cincinnati, Ohio. And they have a broad reach, so those of you that are viewing can write his phone number down at the end of the show. Reach out to him if you'd like to be a part of this phenomenal organization. And let's get to this interview. Thank you for watching. Good morning.
Good morning, Michelle. Thank you so much.
Oh, now, I'm so glad to have you here.
Yeah, in Cincinnati, you're called the Money Lady.
So yeah, I'm called the Money Lady everywhere.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, that's what I always think of you
years.
as.
Yes, yes. But I'm just an average person. I'm a business owner. You know that. I started in business in 1982. Yeah. Yep. Way before other people because corporate is just what it is.
Right.
And for many of us, that's not satisfying. Right. So you need to be about something that's going to be positive, that's going to contribute to the well-being of your community and help your family to see another way.
Right.
So you and Jan have been, viewers, he and Jan Michelle are owners of the Cincinnati Herald in Cincinnati. phenomenal couple, but they're business owners too.
Yeah, so just to talk about that a little bit, we have KGL Media, which is the, I guess, corporate name for our company. And we have the Cincinnati Herald, which is a Black weekly newspaper, the Dayton Defender, which is in this marketplace, and we have the Northern Kentucky Herald. Along with those publications, we have a senior publication that provides information for seniors, and we've got...
Yay! That's my heart.
Yeah. And then we've got publications to meet the needs of entrepreneurs and other people, special publications like that.
Okay.
So it's a multimedia company, as my wife likes to say, but she runs it and she's in charge of it, and she should be one of your guests.
Oh, listen, if I could pin her down.
Yes.
It's not like I have not tried. She is an incredibly busy woman, but I wanted to have her on, first because I love her. She's a very amazing woman, and I've known her for an awful long time, but just her perspective about media with all of this technology.
Right.
I mean, there's a lot going on. Print media is struggling. I'm talking about, the big companies.
Yes.
And how do you reach your audience? Those are questions, tactical, strategic questions that have to deal with where we're heading.
Yes.
Not just as African Americans and Americans at large, but where are we heading as a society?
Right. How is news being distributed? There are major players that control the landscape.
Oh my goodness.
And a lot of the news, if you notice, is reporting on news. So you get repetitive news.
Right, right. And I'll also say, because I do have an iPhone and it tracks all media.
Right.
I've got like 20-something newspapers, from the Chinese paper that I read every morning all the way to the English and all over. Everybody's pulling news, and then when you look at the nightly news, it's a rehash of what you saw
earlier in the day.
And you're like, that's not going to work.
Yes.
I mean, it may for seniors who don't do smartphones and stuff, but for those of us who are in the hub of things, that's not meeting a need.
No.
It's not. And it's got to have a limited shelf life. So I think what you all are doing is something that I want to talk about. I want to learn more.
Right. Well, I'll make sure that I tell Jan Michelle to come.
Please do. Tell her I'll call her.
Yes, yes.
I will tell her, anticipate another call, and that I do want her to talk about some of the challenges that she has encountered in being the CEO of this conglomerate of media. And that should be very interesting.
Right. So she's just starting, speaking of media, she's starting Cincinnati Herald TV, which is not a TV station, but it's on YouTube, and it's programming geared more towards millennials. And it's an interesting concept, an interesting twist that she's
well, the millennials are going to be over 50% of our workforce in the next 2 years.
2 years?
2 years, 220. I just read the data, and they will be, because of attrition, because of seniors retiring, because of labor force participation rates declining amongst key groups, including white males. The millennials are stepping to the table. Now, that has significant impact.
Yes.
Significant impact. And I want to make sure that, again, people are aware of this. This is why I'm pushing entrepreneurship. Seniors, retirees are not retiring. They must have a game plan. It's not sitting in front of the television or going to the rec center. They've got to begin to look at, how am I going to structure my life so that I don't outlive my resources?
Right.
I mean, they don't have pension funds. 401ks have taken a battering. The little savings they have been exhausted due to lifestyle. And that is paying for the kids, taking care of parents, and then trying to eke out something for themselves. So That's why I'm so strong on this. I see the handwriting on the wall, and that's why I was so enthusiastic about having you to come on to talk about your organization.
Okay, well, I'll tell you a little bit about the African American Chamber of Commerce.
Yes.
It started in 1996.
Okay.
And so we're still a relatively young organization when you look at things, but we've been able to have an impact on all sorts of small businesses and entrepreneurs. We're about close to knocking on 400 members.
That's a good group.
Yeah.
That's a good size.
And then when you consider the makeup of our membership, just like the regular economy,
Yeah.
most African American owned businesses are one person. And so that makes up about 85% of our membership. And then the vast majority of our membership is 20 employees or less.
Okay.
So companies, so we really are small businesses. Small businesses create approximately 80% of the new jobs.
They do.
And employ that many people in the U.S. economy and also in the state of Ohio. So we are geared toward the small business person, to the entrepreneur, to somebody who has an idea and they're going to make it work and they're going to be able to feed themselves and their families off of those ideas and that energy and that enthusiasm and that hustle, really.
Yeah.
You know what
well,
I mean?
you gotta have that hustle. You do.
Right.
You do.
Or passion is a word that people use quite often. And so our programming is designed in that fashion. So we have a program that's called Business Basics, and that is a monthly program that people can attend, where we just have things about how to go get into a lease, how to develop a relationship with a banker, how to present yourself for a contract, how to estimate, things like that, how to get an accountant.
Okay.
So it's very kind of Business Basics, as the title suggests.
Right.
Then we did a survey of our members, and the second thing that they wanted to know the most about was marketing. So we have a marketing know-how program, which teaches people, basically it focuses on marketing in social media.
Okay.
But there are other types of marketing, and we cover those too. So how do you market your product, your service, not only on Facebook or Twitter, but also to your local neighborhood? How do you do the flyers and things like that, hand to hand, or guerrilla marketing?
Yes,
as they
I was
say.
going to say that sounds like guerrilla marketing.
Right.
Yeah.
So those types of things. And then we have business accelerators, and we've got some exceptional business accelerators. So one is called the Sudduth Society, and Horace Sudduth, it's named after Horace Sudduth, was a local entrepreneur in Cincinnati who owned hotels and other businesses. He was a real estate.
Black man?
Yes, but African American.
Oh
yeah,
my
black man.
goodness.
Yeah. So we named the accelerator after him, and what that's designed is to take somebody who's, let's say, under $150,000 in revenue, and provide them with the skills over a 12-week program so that they can grow their business. Then the other accelerator we have is called the EBA, Executive Business Accelerator.
Okay.
And that is in partnership with Enterrise. Enterrise is the nation's #1 accelerator for small business.
Really?
Yes. So we bought the license for the greater Cincinnati area.
Okay.
And I'll tell you about the area that we cover in a second. But that area, that accelerator with Enterrise is incredible. It's 26 weeks.
Okay.
So you have to commit to it.
Okay.
There's reading, there's peer-to-peer. So you come in, you get a class for about 3 hours
Yes.
on a specific subject. Then you have to go back and do some homework,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
On the week where you don't have class, you have peer-to-peer mentoring. So let's say we're in a class. You would say, Eric, did you meet your goals this month? Or this week, or this 2-week
Okay.
period?
Accountability.
Yes, accountability.
yes.
And then I would ask you, well, were you able to make a meeting with this account, or did you meet your
Right,
sales
right.
goal? So there's that mutual accountability. And so that accelerator has had tremendous results. We're about to graduate our first class
Oh my
in
goodness.
April.
My goodness.
And
I want to be invited.
yeah,
I want to
we'll have to
come.
we'll
I
have
want
to
to come.
extend an invitation to
Yes,
you.
I would love that.
No.
That truly sounds like a program that is desperately needed, because in business, one of the challenges I've found in talking to small businesses, white and black and other racial groups, is you got to have an out plan. You got to have an exit strategy.
Yes,
You cannot
definitely.
start a business and not be prepared to sell it,
Right.
pass it on. You can't hold on to a business forever. It
Right.
has an end life.
Yes. Yeah, that's exactly
And that's
right.
hard for
For
a lot
people.
of people,
Right.
particularly if they birthed that business. I tell them, well, we birth children, but they gotta go. There is an out date for you. And so in business, that is so powerful. And so you'll have your first class this April.
It's graduating in April.
Yes,
Yes.
I definitely
Yeah.
want to come
Yeah.
and give them a standing ovation.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome.
And so if businesses want to join the next class, which will start probably in the summer, they're more than welcome
Okay.
to
So what are the
reach out.
criteria for that?
Well, we typically want somebody who has been in business at least a year.
Okay.
And you have to have employees. And the reason
Okay.
that you have to have employees is because we want the president or the CEO to attend these classes, so somebody's got to be there to run the business.
To run the business,
Right.
exactly.
So if you're a solopreneur, this isn't right for you. The Sutta Society would be good for you.
Okay.
That accelerator. But this accelerator, the EBA, is one that's like if you're a little bit larger, maybe you have more than $150,000 in revenue.
Okay.
You've got more than one employee, and then you can spend time really growing your business. Now the great thing about this is with Enterprise, there's a 90% success rate of tripling your revenue in 3 years.
Oh
So-
my goodness, using these steps that they learn in school.
Right, and they
Okay.
track you for the following 3 years. So Enterprise is really, they do an outstanding job. It's great curriculum. You have to be, it's intense, right?
Yes, yes.
So
But
you have to work.
business is intense.
Right.
I
So-
mean, you can intensely fail.
Right, exactly.
You can intensely succeed.
Right.
Business is the hardest thing you're going to ever do.
Right.
I'm so
It's
serious.
a challenge.
It's a challenge.
Yes.
It's a challenge.
Yeah.
It is.
And so this is one way to help
Okay.
people. And then we have the third kind of accelerator or leadership program we have is called Emerge, and that's for young people if you're
Okay.
under 35.
Millennials.
Yes,
Okay.
and that starts, we're starting, it's brand new, and it starts Wednesday for us, and that's a 10-week program.
Okay.
that people
And
can-
and what
or
is the
a 5-week
ideal?
program, I'm sorry.
It's a 5-week. What's the ideal candidate for that one?
That is someone, you don't necessarily have to have your own business, but
Okay.
you're interested in your own business.
Okay, so that literally is an introduction to the world of entrepreneurship.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
And
okay.
it's to build leadership skills and networking skills with this cohort. So you're not going to learn about, let's say, the ins and outs of how to do a balance sheet or how to do a cash flow statement, but you'll learn about, well, what's entrepreneurship like? Who are some people who are interested in it that I can develop relationships with? And then we have speakers that come in and describe what's going on.
That's powerful, too.
So it meets once a month, and it's for 5 months. I misspoke earlier. So it's 5 months, monthly programs once a
Okay.
month.
And
it's
what
for
is
young
their
people.
accountability at the end of the course?
Well, their accountability is to each other as a group.
Okay.
So it's not one-on-one, it's a group accountability to check in with each other and to see how they grow and progress on their journey towards entrepreneurship.
Okay.
So we'll see how that works. This is our first one, so we're trying something new.
Have you
And-
gotten any pushback from young people about it so far? I know it's getting ready to birth.
No. So actually, we had a process where people applied, and
Yes.
some people, quite frankly, were not accepted
Okay.
because of the time commitment and the way they presented their application and what their goals were. So, you've got to have a group that wants to work together, that understands the greater good. And so we think we've got a good group of 12 people. and
Oh, that's
we're going to
a
go
perfect
forward.
group.
Right. So
I'm
everybody
thinking
can
about,
talk.
Leadership Cincinnati. I was involved in that.
Oh, you were?
Oh, class 7. I'm an old
Oh.
one. I mean, it's a long time ago. But how that selection process went to make sure that you get maximum benefit for all the participants, because time is more valuable than money. You can
Yes, it
always
is.
get more money, but you can't necessarily get more time.
That's a very good point.
So if they're going to be involved, they have to have the time and the willingness to commit to being coached,
Yes.
meaning teach. How are you willing to listen, to learn, apply, and then execute?
Right.
Those things have to happen, or else it's not going to happen.
Right. Very true. Very, very true.
So you have 12 people already for that group.
Right.
Okay.
So that's kind of our accelerator leadership group.
Okay.
And then we have programs that are right up your alley.
Okay.
So we've got access to capital.
Okay.
Which are programs where we bring in bankers, financial institutions, and they present like loan packages or things like that
Right,
are
that they want.
right.
Okay.
That are designed for small business owners. So if they've got some product that's designed for corporate America, that's not right
No,
for our
no,
audience.
no.
And so we're
And that's
not
actually not right for most of America.
right. Over
Okay.
over 80% of the businesses. So then we have an equity acquisition piece. So a lot of our African American owned businesses need to scale, need to get larger,
They
but
do.
we are unaccustomed to receiving equity investments other
Right.
than from family or
Right,
friends,
right.
or acquiring another business of any race. So for instance, let's say you're an entrepreneur, you've got your business, it's going well, but you can't grow the way that you'd like to. Well, why not think about acquiring a competitor or an ancillary type of
Right,
business
right.
that's not necessarily black owned, let's say.
Right,
It's
doesn't
owned
matter.
by somebody who's white, green, blue, purple, whatever.
Right.
And so we're doing programming and trying to teach people or encourage people to grow their business either through an equity investment from either a financial institution, or not a financial, but an equity firm
Yeah.
or a group of investors, or grow your firm by acquiring another company.
Okay.
And so that type of programming is kind of eye-opening for a lot of our members. They're like, well, I'd never thought about that before.
Oh my
What do I
gosh.
do? Or, you know.
Welcome to America.
Right. That's how
I'm not
people
kidding
grow.
you.
Right.
Everybody's in a place right now, Eric. I mean, I hate to paint this gloomy, dismal picture, but it looks like Amazon and Walmart and Macy's are going to be the last people standing, and everybody else is going to hit the skids unless they grow bigger by way of acquisition.
Yes.
I don't see how on the retail side it's going to work out any differently than that.
Yeah.
They're going to have to get bigger or they're going to lose their market.
Right. The retail spaces. Yeah, that's very challenging.
That is very challenging. I read the stats a couple of days ago, not that I was surprised, about JCPenney and
Sears
Kohl's
and
and Sears
Kmart.
and Kmart and all of our traditionals out the door, finished, kaput. And I said, so where do we go to buy U.S.-made goods and products? I mean, that's major. And I know that in manufacturing, it is essential to maintain market share that you have to buy. You have to buy somebody else. They may be bigger, but you got to grow. You got to
Right.
grow or else you're going to be eaten up.
Right. So you've said this many times before, but growth is the key thing.
It is.
You have to grow. So as an entrepreneur, that's got to be front and center of things that you think about. And
Have
I
you
know
found
you've said
that to
a lot.
be? Yeah, I've said that over the years because it's very hard for people to understand the necessity of growth and then sell. Because within African Americans, the conversation is like with BET with Mr. Johnson, and he sold, I think, to Sony, and changed the face of BET, and people were like, well, why? We needed BET. And I was like, trust me when I tell you that people do not go into business for social service. If that is the end run, I don't think so. If you want that, start a church.
Right.
I mean, that sounds callous, but that's its brand. That's what a church or synagogue or that's what they do.
Right.
But in business,
You're absolutely right.
Yeah, in business, it's about profit and being able to sustain profitability to be sold or to buy somebody else and to get bigger.
Right.
Is that your thinking?
Well, that's my thinking, but I have to say that many of our members, that's kind of new. So a lot of people start in business because they have a passion for it.
Okay.
It's a form of self-expression maybe. They're trying to feed their family or feed themselves, but they're not thinking about the growth factor, about the competitive challenges that if you don't grow, then you won't be in business. And so that sometimes we have to talk to people about that, and we have coaching sessions that we have to help people along those lines.
It's tough because I have a company that is a international company where I have philanthropy, but bottom line, my strategic coach told me, a male, that Michelle, either you're going to make money or you're not. And it just, I was like, are you telling me? What are you telling me? He's like, if you want to help those women, write a check. No, that's what he said. He said, we'll create a foundation, write a check. He said, but if you're going to do shea butter, you got to look for international players. He shifted everything. I'm not kidding you. I'm in the midst of this right now. He shifted everything and said, no, leave the consumer alone and focus on big players who want what you have. Oh yeah. He said you cannot service consumers and do well today. And the reason he said this is because he said, look at what's happening to retail. That's consumers. That's all consumers. JCPenney doesn't sell to wholesalers and distributors. JCPenney's is a retail distributor selling to consumers. Well, with their demise, there's going to be less and less venues for consumers to shop and buy. It's all going to be consolidated, and it is right now, as we speak. Amazon is kicking butt, and that's not going to stop. I mean, they're only growing. Alibaba globally is growing. So where do consumers come in with specialty products? His whole thing is there's always going to be room for specialty, but recognize that the tide is not with you.
So can you sell your product through Amazon?
I can, but Amazon
Is that profitable?
Amazon just changed the game last week.
Oh, they did?
Oh, yes, they did, Eric. Amazon used to buy inventory. All those Amazon products, they actually paid people to carry their inventory. And Amazon is dissolving all of that.
So what are they going to do?
Well, they basically are telling all of the entrepreneurs, you better learn how to go for yourself. We will be a portal, but we're not carrying inventory. We're not pushing and promoting. That's on you. They announced this. It's been I'll send you the email. I went into shock because this is a real shift in their marketing strategy. But what they must have concluded was that the expenses of housing that inventory and promoting that inventory exceeded the price that they were paying.
So if I'm on the website and I click on a product,
yes,
then you send it to me directly. Amazon doesn't send it?
It's not going to be involved.
Okay, that's different.
That's different. I'm waiting to see what they're going to do with Whole Foods, since that was a disaster as far as food. But they did learn the food business. But, like I said, with business owners and business people, it's always a challenge to be ahead of the game and to know what is required. I still firmly believe in the farmers market concept. I firmly believe that people are going to be more and more finicky about their water and their food thanks to Flint, Michigan. And Flint, Michigan.
I'm surprised no one's gone to jail.
Eric,
Yeah.
me too. Generationally,
Right.
oh, come on. Oh, that's just bad. But I do believe there'll always be room for the smaller businesses, but it's going to take a different type of marketing given what's going in the bigger market. Again, I'm just speaking from what I have read, observed, and seen over the last 5 years. An acceleration of technology has changed the game.
Yes.
It has. It has changed the game. So smaller companies are going to have to be even more adroit and fast to make a shift. They're going to have to use the same devices, marketing devices, but they're going to have to be faster. That's my thinking.
Right.
That's my thinking. What do you feel?
Well, I think with respect to small business owners,
Yeah.
the advantage that they have is they're agile and they're able to have a more intimate relationship with customers.
Yes.
And you have to take advantage of that. So you constantly have to get feedback from your customers, understand what they need, maybe be a little bit predictive about what they might need and, you know, a little bit in the future, and just be responsive and willing to change quickly. Right. And so that's the advantage I believe that the smaller entrepreneur has over the large company, and you know, you don't have to go through so many
Iterations.
levels of it and things like that.
And if I might add, the willingness to recognize that you don't have to know everything. You don't, but you do have to be able to resource everything.
Right, and so there are resources like the African American Chamber.
Yes,
That's
yes.
one. Public libraries is another
Yes,
one.
no, it's very powerful.
Right, they give
They
away
give free information.
Right, that'll help you market.
Yes.
So chambers have data, the government has data, census.gov has data.
Yes,
And so
yes.
you've got to be aware of all those types of things. And then listening to people and getting into conversation with people like you, or going to network events and meeting other people and getting their perspective on business. I've found that personally to be very valuable, and I know entrepreneurs do as well.
Well, I know I love the networking aspect of it. And one thing that keeps coming back to my mind is the German model. In the earlier days, the Germans were entrepreneurs. A lot of people don't know that the guild concept came out of Germany, where the little small clockmaker and different pieces, they all came together to protect their turf and to make sure that other people did not invade their turf. The challenge today, and I say this is because America is one mass marketing machine, is case in point. Patti LaBelle has a phenomenal sweet potato pie that is sold by Walmart. I'm sure it's under licensing agreement, folks. I'm positive Patti LaBelle is not in the kitchen doing sweet potato pies.
Right.
I just don't think that's a good use of her time. But here you got another lady, say a local lady, that makes sweet potato pies. She cannot sell her sweet potato pies for the same low margin price that Walmart does. So her issue is, can my clients pay 3 times what a person buying that pie from Walmart would pay? And how does that impact on her business model? How does she market differently? Because Walmart is Walmart, and they can push things because they have tons of money. How does she, or he even, men bake pies, how do they meet that? How can they be a part of your organization and learn how to meet those kinds of challenges in the marketplace?
Well, we've got another program
Okay,
that
I'm
will help with
listening.
that.
Oh my
Right.
on. Keep pulling them out your pocket.
A couple of things. One is we have what's called the Minority Business Assistance Center, which helps women, racial minorities,
Yes.
excuse me, help with their business. So we help with certification if you want to get certified with the state. We help with getting a loan. We help you get a business plan together. We help you with marketing research. We help with all of those types of things to help somebody in the example. We also, through the MBAC program, have a farm to table program because we represent 17 counties in Ohio, the Appalachian counties as well
Oh my
as
goodness.
those 4 counties around
Right,
Cincinnati.
right.
And so we're taking farmers from Appalachia, introducing them to restaurateurs in the greater Cincinnati area so that they can sell their produce. So that's an example.
Eric, that is powerful.
Yes, it's a great program. And
I'm not
doing,
kidding you. That is, I'm a gardener. That is powerful.
If
To
you-
be able to bring them into because Cincinnati's full of restaurants. I mean, it's probably per capita one of the highest cities with restaurants.
Yes, we do have quite a bit. So that's a program where if you're a farmer
Yes.
and if you have produce, you can wed that with restaurateurs. Now, I should also say that we have an MBAC program in Cincinnati. There's also a great one in Dayton, Ohio. So if you're in
Okay.
Dayton, you can take advantage of that one too.
Are there
and it's
any
very
others
good.
in the state?
Well, they're all over the state of Ohio. There's
Okay.
one in Columbus, there's one in Toledo, there's one in Y-Town.
Okay.
And so they're all over the state. We have offices in Cincinnati and Piketon.
Okay, right. That's down the river.
Right.
Yeah.
But the one in Dayton is excellent. They do a great job. They do a great job.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
So that program is also on the table for
Mm-hmm.
people that want to get involved with the green movement.
Right.
In
right.
terms of buying and supporting farmers versus buying from wholesalers,
Right.
national producers.
And also you can get consistent quality,
Yes.
so that helps. And you are in conversation with the person who is giving you your produce for your restaurant. So there are a lot of big advantages.
I like that. Now
Yeah.
that resonates with me as a farm girl myself. And that's
You grew up on a farm?
I am a Kentuckian. Eric, why is it people cannot accept the fact that
Because you're like glamour. You wear pearls. You wear jewelry. That's not a farmer.
Eric. I know about pigs, okay? I know about goats. I know about ducks. I know about
Slop
horses.
and everything you know how to do. Okay.
Eric, that is why I'm not doing that.
Okay.
I do know how to. I have a garden.
Mm-hmm.
I grow plants. I even have a fish heads, which I may roll out this summer. Oh no, I get fish heads from Alaska. Yeah,
And ground them up in the soil?
fish heads are great. Yes, it's nothing but nutritious protein. A plant eats the same thing we eat.
Okay.
So
okay.
I grind it up in the lab, and along with eggs and coffee grinds and water, and not alkaline. Plants don't like alkaline water. Don't do alkaline. But I grind all that stuff up, and I remediate my soil. I'm getting ready to do it in about 3 weeks. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
and we'll
That's
probably.
good. That's good. I would never have
I'm gonna
expected
sell.
it.
I'm gonna probably, if I can work it out, I'll be downtown and sell my excess. I got a bunch of fish heads that are fabulous. I
Okay.
mean, nice and perky and Alaskan, and that's what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
So I don't know how much money I'm gonna make, because that's not my motive. I just want to be able to talk to other farmers and people and see if they're growing food successfully for their family.
Now, what are you going to grow?
Oh, this year I'm going to probably grow, I'm going to expand my herbs to
Okay.
include some exotic herbs. I'm going to continue with my heirloom okra, my heirloom tomatoes, black mustards, which I love,
Okay.
can't find them, kale, lettuce, and probably a few other spinach, things that I can preserve for the winter.
Okay.
For soups and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Go
Yeah.
ahead. Go
Yeah.
ahead. I would not have expected
Well,
that.
people, it's amazing because I tell people I am a Kentucky Colonel.
Yes, okay.
Okay? I am a real live Kentuckian. My people are country people, and we run around with dirt. And I went to college forever because farming is hard work.
Yes.
And I had determined I'm not doing that.
I remember as a boy growing up, I used to go to Mississippi where my
Well,
my
here we
grandfather
go.
had a farm.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
So you know that's hard.
It is
work.
hard work. It is hard
Up
work.
with the birds,
Yep. Feeding the chicken.
feeding the chickens.
feeding-
Then you got to
feeding the
go and get a
hog.
chicken to eat.
Yeah.
You
Grab
know,
the
gotta
eggs
drive
and then,
zzzz,
right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
And pluck it. and
yeah,
all that.
yeah, drop it in the water, and
Yeah.
you know, there
Yeah.
it goes. You young people don't know about this stuff, but you're getting ready to learn because the famine is coming. Anyway, yeah, I did that. I still have a deep abiding love for the earth, for the good things that human beings can do to change the balance of power around food. I don't like hungry babies. I don't like hungry people.
Right. You know,
I don't.
I got exposure to that with there's a food group in Cincinnati, and they asked me to sit temporarily on a commission that they were doing, Free Store Food Bank.
Okay.
And the amount of food insecurity in Ohio is remarkable.
It is.
And the number of kids that are going without. And
Unbelievable.
are you familiar with Childhood Food Solutions?
I am.
They are giving out sacks of food for
Yes,
kids during
yes.
weekends when they're not at
Yes,
school to get
yes.
lunch and
Yes.
breakfast and
Our
things like that.
children
Yeah, it's
are
really
our legacy.
remarkable.
And you and I are blessed to have children that were raised and nurtured in caring environments. They never had hungry bellies. They never saw the things that are real out here. My children had to do work time at the animal center. That was a requirement at Cincinnati Country Day. They had to do time at the, and you know, like I told them, feeding a dog is not like feeding a human. And that in our world system today, we have to have systems in place so that people and children are not hungry. There is not, this is not right. This is absolutely not right. So I applaud your involvement with the farmers. I would like to see where excess produce gets distributed.
Oh, that's
Where,
a good
yeah,
point.
no, I would like where when they sold out all their fresh goods, where the excess produce can have a venue with children and where they can learn how to fix their own food. And the reason I say that, Eric, and don't want to get off topic, is because a lot of parents are not capable of raising children. And their children are all out here doing everything. And these children have got to learn how to take care of themselves. And I think that rather than judging the situation, we should be enhancers and facilitators so that they can fix their own salads, know how to fix their own food, and take care of themselves. It's not the optimal situation, but some people are not going to be able, capable, willing to raise their children.
Right.
They just aren't.
Yeah, so they need help.
Yeah,
with
so
that.
they need help.
Yeah, they
So
definitely
again, with regard, I wanted to just shift off of farming, which is actually perfect for me because that's, if you can feed people, you got a nation.
Right,
If
right.
you can
always
feed-
have a job.
You
right.
always have a job. The
Right.
pigs may
People-
not like you. The cows may not care for you, but you will always have a job. But so you do specialize in the smaller markets. What's the phone number for people to reach you?
Oh, yes. So you can reach us at 513
Okay.
751 9900. You can go reach us on the website african-americanchamber.com.
And is there any particular person they need to call to talk to if they're calling that number?
Well, it all depends what you need. So
Okay.
you can ask for me, Eric Kearney, if you'd
Okay.
like to, and I'll direct you to the right person. But come to our networking events. We welcome everybody. Some programs have charges, but most don't. So you should feel free to participate. And,
Okay.
come and kick the tires and see if there's something that we have that's right for you.
Do you have any collaborative relationships with the universities in this area?
Well, not the universities per se, but a lot of the other economic development organizations.
Okay.
We work with them primarily. But with the universities, we don't have any specific programs with them. We host events at their locations because they have great resources.
Yes.
Like, for instance, we have one of the largest events in southwestern Ohio, which is Contacts to Contracts, where you get to meet a great group of people.
Okay.
And then we have all these people who are looking to have contracts with, builders, construction, IT, all these different industries. I mean, it's over 100.
Oh my goodness,
And so,
in one place?
one place. You just
my
come and you go crazy meeting people.
That is absolutely
Yeah, so bring a
fun.
ton of business cards and
yes,
just go around.
yes.
And so we do that in June, and that's
Okay.
held at Xavier University. So that would
Okay.
be an example of where we have a program at a university, but the university is not
Directly involved.
Right, directly.
Well, I
involved with
like
the
that
content.
contacts to contracts because at the end of the day, you got to make money.
Yes, you got to make money.
You got to make money, and if you are able to get people to network and then to consummate and then to contract,
Yeah.
that's very powerful.
Right, and then every Thursday, not every Thursday, the third Thursday of a month, we have what is called the exchange, where we have a speaker, people get together, they network, they exchange cards, and so that has been, I've seen a lot of people get contracts out of that. And just earlier this week, we had Government Day at Claremont County.
Okay.
Which is a kind of a suburban county.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
It is.
And there are not very many people who look like me and you there.
Okay.
But they could not have been nicer or more
Right.
welcoming. And we had 2 members who got contracts that day. Right. So that shows
Boom.
you when you go out, maybe extend yourself
Yes,
outside of your
yes,
comfort zone.
yes.
You never know what'll happen. So
Well, you
that
know,
was
in
really
business,
very
though,
great.
I tell folks there is no room for that in business.
Right.
Racism, sexism, ism. Business is about business.
Yeah. Right.
And I do believe that the more successful companies have had to embrace the changing of America.
Right, because demographics are changing.
Demographics are right in front of us,
Mm-hmm.
Eric. I mean, America is not the America you and I grew up in.
Thankfully.
America, I mean, I just came back from Tampa, and my son is married to a Puerto Rican girl, and they got 2 children, and they're bilingual.
Oh, that's
And
great.
I don't speak Spanish.
Well, you got to.
I got to. They said,
Yeah.
Nene, you have to, they were telling me in Spanish, you have to learn how to speak Spanish. And I was like, you have to learn how to speak English. But my son, who speaks both, and his wife, who speaks both, they said that in Florida, if you don't speak Spanish, you just are out of the pocket.
Right.
And I just had to scratch my head. I said, I never thought I'd be in a time in history where my grandbabies, 3 and 5, are bilingual.
That's
and
great.
think something is wrong with me. I don't know how. Buenos dias, señorita. That's about it for me. I'm just shake your hand and smile. But
Keep at it. You can do it.
I know I can.
Yes.
I know I can do it. Do you speak Spanish?
A little bit. Un
Okay.
poquito.
Un poquito. Okay, you're forgiven. We are forgiven. Well, do you have, within your organization right now, do you have what I would say a level of cultural diversity beyond African Americans? Do you have Latinos and Asians?
We had a Latino woman who left to get a job, a higher paying job.
Okay.
Last year, but we have 2 people who work for us, 2 women who are not people of color.
Okay, that's fine. I was just curious because of the transition I see happening all over this country. I mean, and I'm telling you, Eric, it's happening faster than I ever would have thought. My daughter lives in Brooklyn, my firstborn, and Brooklyn is everything.
Yes.
I mean, everything. And New York, Manhattan is everything. And so you go to DC and you go to Philadelphia and you'll see all these things happening. And I just encourage people to be open to change.
Yes.
And in the business world will always be there for those who are driven and to success and understand that if you have something that people want, they're going to buy it.
Right. They are.
They're going to buy it. Now, if you bring something to the table that is not of worth, then that's not going to happen. So, again, I encourage, for those of you that are just tuning in, you missed a good show.
We covered a lot.
You go to YouTube and watch this show with Eric Kearney from the African American Chamber of Commerce in Cincinnati, Ohio, a stellar organization. I wouldn't have him on my show otherwise. That could give you some insight in going into business and staying successfully and profitably in business. This is the way you want to go as we move into this paradigm shift where things are changing on a dime. Who'd ever think that Amazon would be bringing you your book with a drone? That happened to me Sunday.
Oh, they did?
They did.
Seriously?
Yes. I ordered the book. You may want it. Eric Oden writes a lot of marketing. He's a real guru. And I got my book. I ordered it
By drone?
Saturday morning and Sunday morning. Plop. Nope, nothing around. Up. Hello.
Really?
I got my book.
I didn't think they actually did that. I thought they were talking
Oh,
about
no,
that.
no, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. They're doing it. So my whole thing, truthfully, Eric, this is a case study on business. The book I ordered, a phenomenal book, $25.95 at a local bookstore who we both know because we all like them. And the book I got next day for $13.
Wow.
No tax. Yeah, that's where we are.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, should I pay the additional $13 and drive down to the bookstore and buy the book and pay the tax and come back home? Or do I just need to click, 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 order the book, drop it next day, got the book? That's what the face of competition in business is looking like today.
Right. That's remarkable.
Isn't that remarkable?
Right. And drones don't, you know, there's not the gas and
They
everything of
just,
a delivery
I'm
truck.
telling you, I looked around for the book. I mean, I saw this, I said, there's no truck, there's no anything. And I looked up and I was like, I need to relocate. I need to find another place to live because it was such a aha moment. It's just, this is not a conversation. This is actually happening now.
Yeah.
And so we have to
Remarkable.
prepare. Isn't that remarkable?
Yeah.
My marketing book that I'm going to read today and next week arrived in 24 hours. Personalized on my porch.
Wow.
Isn't that something?
Yeah. And you could have just even put it on your iPad or Kindle or whatever. And
I could have.
Yeah.
I like books.
Yeah, you like books. I do
like
too.
I like to hold the book.
I do
but,
too.
But it has been very good having you here. Give
Thank
them
you,
your
Money
number again.
Lady.
Oh, please.
The Money Lady. My name is Eric Kearney, 513-751-9900 or African-American-Chamber.com.
And for those of you that are just tuning in or been watching throughout, I hope you have learned something. This has been an awesome show. I definitely am going to have his wife on to talk about her world.
Please do.
In the media. Oh, she's a sweetheart. You will love this woman. And for those of you that are contemplating business in Southern Ohio or anywhere in the United States, he's a wellspring. He was called the connector by the Cincinnati Enquirer. He was called, this man is the connector. So take advantage of those opportunities before you. I hope that you have a wonderful week ahead. As always, I'm Michelle Graves, the Money Lady, wishing you an awesome day, awesome for your family. God's peace and love to you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Money Lady. Thank you very much. This was